Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy YouTube Blue coming back at you again, and it is Sunday. It's game day. These two teams right here are going head to head in the game that is must win for the Dallas Cowboys. It's must win for Philly too. So both teams come into this game 7-7, and you kind of when the season started, we always thought that the division was going to come down between both of these teams, right? Because you saw how things were going with the Redskins with the situation with Trent Williams or whatever, and just the issues that they were having with Jay Gruden, and then finally getting rid of him. The issues up in New York with Eli Manning getting benched for the rookie Daniel Jones, but I think that Daniel Jones is going to have a promising future. Uh, I just look at it like this: we are going to have it's going to be an interesting game. Now, the Eagles are full of injuries. Dallas Cowboys do have injuries themselves, but we will talk about all of that in this video, guys. All right, so if the Cowboys win this game, they clinch the NFC East, as we all know. Games at 4:25 Eastern Time today. The league as a whole looks at this division as being trash, whatever the situation may be. They were even talking about trying to reseed the playoffs because of how trash the NFC East is. But when you look at the NFC, we may be the underdog, but you look at what the Giants did that year when they won the Super Bowl, when they went 9-7 and beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I think that this could be a definite underdog season for the Dallas Cowboys. You know, throughout the season, all the mishaps they had from being from dropping 3 games twice in the season, just all the up and downs we have, us trying to get rid of Jason Garrett every year, but it seems like Jason Garrett got the magic juice. It's like all of a sudden things happen and he still is the coach. Now, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure if we don't make it to the NFC East title, I mean to the NFC Championship, Jason Garrett's gone. I think that if we make it to the Super Bowl, even if we lose it, I think that they might bring Jason Garrett back, which is probably not what you guys want to hear. I don't want to hear it either because I don't care if we win the Super Bowl. I want him gone. I would love to see a Ravens Cowboys Super Bowl though. I would love that. I would love to see a Ravens Cowboys Super Bowl. But you know, it's just me being thinking optimistic right now. We gotta start at home now. You look at the season, it just seemed like nobody wanted to win the division. Nobody wanted to win the division. So the Eagles would drop off. Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I just want to say throughout the season, even when it just looked like everything was just barren and nothing was happening, throughout the midst of all that, the Eagles started losing games. And we were like, oh my God, we're still in this. We are still undefeated in the division. We haven't lost a division game. And Jason Garrett is 7-2 in Philly. Now, playing at the link is hard, but the Dallas Cowboys seem to have the Eagles' number right now, and even more so because of all the injuries that they have right now. But don't let that confuse you. Don't think that Doug Peterson not gonna come in here and do something different. I told you guys before, Doug Peterson they won the Super Bowl for a reason. They beat the Patriots, and because they threw away that whole game plan that they had in the regular season. And when it came to the Super Bowl, they did trick plays, they did flea flickers, they did bootlegs, they did a lot of the misdirection, and they did a lot of trickery, things that you didn't see from them all season long. And that's what you have to do to win games. Now, the problem that I have with our team, with the Dallas Cowboys, is that the type of coach that we have, he doesn't take chances like that. He doesn't allow the team to do things like that. But guess who on this team can and will want to do things like that? Kellen Moore, the play caller. I think that if Jason Garrett allows him to be himself, I think that things can progress and come along. Now, will he make mistakes? Damn sure he will, because he's new at what he's doing. But he brings a more innovative, younger perspective, and he can mesh well with Dak Prescott, and giving Dak Prescott the range, more range to do things. Well, first of all, you got to pay him too, but that's a whole nother ball game. Now, as we look at this Dallas Cowboys being 7-7, coming in with these Eagles also being 7-7, there's a lot at stake right now. Now, I will say if the Cowboys lose this game, they're not eliminated. So basically, the Cowboys are the only one that could clinch the division by winning today. Um, if Dallas wins, obviously they own the head-to-head tiebreaker because the division wins. But if the Eagles win today, Cowboys have to beat the Redskins next week, and then the Eagles would have to lose to the Giants next week. So put it like that. So in order to guarantee your playoff success, you might as well win today. Go in there and beat this team. I'll be honest with you. With I don't even care if, and I know some of you in the chat said you don't want to see Cooper Rush, but what you guys got to understand is this ain't the seasons before. We got John Kitna on this staff, and John Kitna has worked with Dak Prescott. He's worked with Cooper Rush and gotten these guys playing at a different level than they were before. There's that. Then also too, we've also never seen Cooper Rush play in a regular season game like that, unless it was just like the last game where we were up for an obscene amount of points and it didn't matter. But you put Cooper Rush behind, and I know that Dak Prescott more likely will play because he's not even on the injury report, which is kind of weird to me that he's not on the injury report. Doesn't make sense considering that he didn't really practice all week like that. I mean, he was there at practice, but he wasn't really doing much. The fact that Cooper Rush took a lot of the first team reps, which he doesn't do, um, when you have him behind this, our first team offensive line, our first team running back, our first team receivers, I think that he can do more with that. Again, when we've seen him, it's been in preseason to third, fourth, fifth string guys that not even going to make the team. So I think that some of you guys are a little hasty and a little judging Cooper Rush a little bit too much and not giving him enough credit. That's how I feel about it, and I feel very strongly about that. Normally, when I have an intuition about something, I'm not right about everything. I'm not by far. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect. Nobody is, but just to see what's going on and to pay attention and to see how this team progresses, I see it a little bit differently, and I pay more attention to a lot of things that a lot of people don't even see, and I try to bring that to the forefront so you guys can kind of see where the levels that I'm coming from. So that's that. But again, so you're definitely gonna have to make sure that you win this game because nothing else is gonna matter. Because you don't want to have to rely on another division team to do the work for you. And I'm definitely not gonna count on the Giants to do something because you see what happened last time. They lost to the Eagles and they gave them that other win to tie with us. So I don't want to hear all that. Or the Redskins did, but same difference, same division. Right now, Dallas Cowboys they're back up top at first in offense. They're seventh in defense, second in passing, and seventh in rushing. Um, those numbers have been kind of skewed lately because of the down games we had, and then for beating the Rams that they did, some of the stakes came back up. So the numbers are really skewed. Philadelphia right now coming in this week, they're 18th on offense, 9th on defense, 16th in passing, and 11th in rushing. You look at the young guy that they got, Scott. I forgot his first name. I think he was an undrafted guy. He seems like a pretty decent player. He's been coming out and doing some things. I don't know if it's because teams don't know who he is and he's kind of sliding through the ranks a little bit, but neither here nor there. I got to give it to the Eagles, man. They do a good job of getting these practice squad players to come and actually produce. Not like the starters, but like to actually produce and win games. When you see the Dallas Cowboys do stuff like that. Coming into the season this week, Dak Prescott He has a passer rating of 99.3 to Carson Wentz 92.3. Now it's funny because you look at their numbers are always like this. Dak Prescott's is always a little higher than Carson Wentz's, but for Dak Prescott to be a fourth round player and Carson Wentz to be the first overall pick in the 2016 draft, it's just phenomenal that we're getting this production out of a fourth rounder. So the Cowboys are blessed. They're lucky. They could thank the Lord for the fact that they got a guy in the fourth round that's their franchise quarterback right now. It's almost like when Tom Brady came out when he was a sixth round pick and being the GOAT that he is today. Not saying that Dak Prescott would ever be a GOAT, but what I'm saying is the fact that you're getting that type of production out of a fourth rounder, you got to be excited about that. So a lot of people that hate on him, I don't understand it. Um, he's a good dude. I mean, you got to like him. I mean, I know fans of other teams that have a lot of respect for Dak Prescott more than some of our own fans, and that part I don't understand. But it's neither here nor there. Dak Prescott in the year he has 4,334 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. Carson Wentz has 3,441 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Now, Dak Prescott's had a lot of balls that get popped up, some errant throws here and there. But again, when you throw the ball deep, it's always a 50-50. It's always the whole chicken and egg thing. Fun fact, Ezekiel Elliott has averaged 114.8 rushing yards versus the Eagles in 5+ games. So the running game is going to be crucial. I tell you guys all the time because Dak Prescott's sprain or whatever he's got, that AC joint, to me, I feel like I don't need him to play. I don't want him to play because you're going to need him in the playoffs. If we win this game and he re-injures, well, I'll talk about that. I'm just that's my biggest worry. Not about more so about winning the game because I think that we should with no problem because of the deficiencies the Eagles have. Not saying that they're not going to play hard, but Doug Peterson is going to dial up some things and he's going to get these guys playing better. Even Carson Wentz said himself, well, that's what he said. This is a very important game for me. This matters. And one thing I got to give it to Carson Wentz is that when he faces adversity, he normally steps up to the plate. And that is more than likely the reason why he was picked in the first round. Now, we always joke about wheelchair Wentz and things like this, him not finishing seasons and things of that nature because of injuries. But I got respect for him as a quarterback. I have to say that. Ezekiel Elliott has 270 attempts, 1,188 yards rushing, and 11 TDs for the year. And the young boy Miles Sanders, 150 attempts, 687 yards, and 2 touchdowns. They use him a lot on end rounds, and he does a lot of things in the backfield on this team. And the way that they use him in the screen game is ridiculous. I think he has a decent amount of reception yards as well. And I told you guys about the undrafted guy Scott they have too. So you got to watch out for both of these guys. They're pretty shifty backs. You already know how the Eagles play with their running game. They're all over the place with their running game. They've always been like that. And even more so now because they don't have Deshaun Jackson playing. They don't have Alshon Jeffrey playing. And Nelson Aguilar is not playing. Your top 3 receivers are not even there. They have practice squad players that are playing in place of these guys. And their tight ends, Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz, are their leading receivers right now. And that's crazy. Now, normally when our team plays against the opposing team's tight ends, they yak yards all over us. You look at the guy Holtz from the Bears. I think he was like a third string guy or something like that. But that big boy got some yak on us. And one thing that you can't do is miss tackles on tight ends because they're huge guys. You got to get those big boys on the ground. Amari Cooper, although in some of the last games he haven't had a lot of production, and a lot of that is due to his injuries and things of that nature. But he has 71 receptions. He's over 1,000 yards at 1,073, and he has 8 touchdowns for the year, which is not bad considering some of the games that he faltered on. Again, their leading receiver over there, Zach Ertz, 84 receptions, 888 yards, and 6 touchdowns. You got to stop. You stop Ertz and you stop their running game. That is the biggest key right there to winning this game. Now we talk about injuries. Now we were talking about the injuries. Now let's go with the Eagles because they have much more than we do. Now Derek Barnett, he's questionable defensive lineman with an ankle injury. Jordan Howard, running back, the running back that they got from the Bears, which he was really good with the Bears. I'm surprised that the Bears were willing to give him up, but a lot of things that we don't know about. He's questionable with a shoulder injury himself. I already talked about Nelson Aguilar. It says he's questionable with a knee, but I don't think he's going to play. Lane Johnson, he's definitely out with his ankle. That is a huge blow for the Eagles offensive line because he is, I feel like a 50% Lane Johnson is better than any backup that they put in place of him. That's just how I feel about it. Lane Johnson to them is like our Tyron Smith. That's how important he is to their offensive line. He is the glue of that offensive line. And I know Philly 500 would agree with me when I say this. That is their guy. Avante Maddox, he has a knee injury. He's questionable as well. But from what I heard, I don't think he's playing. And I know if there's Eagle fans that follow me, you guys could probably answer that question for me too. On the injury standpoint, from our side, Devin Smith, wide receiver, he has a knee injury. He's questionable, but I don't know if he's going to be active or not anyway this game. Leighton Vander Esch, he's still out with that neck injury. Now, I told you guys before, they haven't shelved him on IR because if we make a playoff push, they were praying and hoping that he could come back and play, but we'll see. But we did pick up Malcolm Smith as backup insurance, the MVP from Super Bowl 2013 year when he was with the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I think that Malcolm Smith, I think he has a possibility of like coming in here, learning this defense, being under Chris Richard, and actually the Cowboys might end up trying to keep him if he does good because I think that he'd be good in our defense because I've done some research on him and I feel like he'd be a perfect fit for this Dallas defense to help out with the loss of Leighton Vander Esch. I think he'll be a good complement to Sean Lee and Jalen Smith. And I'm saying it here first, guys. Remember that. Joe Thomas, you remember he hurt his knee in the game. He's questionable as well. C.J. Goodwin is questionable with he had surgery on a hairline fracture in his thumb. But I'm pretty sure he's going to play because he already said that, hey, they're going to put a club on this jump and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to play. So that's pretty much what it is. And I talked about how the Cowboys, if they win this game, they clinch a division and that's it. Eagles don't go. Now I'll talk more about the playoff seeds after this week, after today, because I don't want to jinx it now. I want to wait until and see if we win this game before I even talk about it. But the way the 49ers are going, if the 49ers win out, we don't have to play them in the beginning. I think they'll probably play against Green Bay. So it looks like we'll be playing either the Vikings or the Saints. Now, I thought about the Seattle Seahawks too, but I think Seattle might be playing I don't know. Because again, we still got another week to go. Everything could change. Because San Francisco right now is the first seed, but if they lose, they'll drop to the 5th seed. I think. Either the 5th or the 6th, something like that. It's really weird. It's like they'll go from the top to the 6th. It's really weird how it's seeding. Because on the NFC side, the playoffs right now is very top heavy. Everybody has like 10 or more wins, and the Cowboys are the only lone team with under that with 7 right now. But I mean, we could possibly, if we went out, we could go 9 games. But still, you'll still be under 10 games, and then you got the Rams that have been eliminated. It's so weird, very top heavy, and that's what happens when the seeding is top heavy like that. You have to win more and win more divisions to get in, and then you have to worry about other teams winning and losing for you to get in. It's crazy. It's really crazy. But the biggest key, like I said, you got to stop Zach Ertz and company, which is him and Dallas Goedert. I'm pretty sure our secondary can hold down the backups that they got at wide receiver. I'm not really worried about them too much. And then we have to watch their running game. What they're going to do is they're going to try to screen us. teams have had a lot of success screening the Dallas Cowboys. So just look out for that. And if they play like they did against the Rams, the Eagles have no shot at winning this game. Now I'm gonna tell you, like I said, if you don't win this game, even if Dak Prescott can't go, and just say if the aforementioned Cooper Rush has the play, even with that, if you don't win this game, Jason Garrett, they need to give him a lift back to Dallas from Philadelphia. Put him in a, don't even take the plane ride. Say, it was nice having you. You had a wonderful, whatever, you know what they say, the bullshit they say. It was great to have you as our coach. Appreciate all the work that you did. Here's your lift ride. Go home, and we'll come get your badge in the morning. That's pretty much it. Your ass ain't coming back on that flight if you lose this game, Jason Garrett. Because if it was me, I'm not putting up with that no more. You got to go. Because how bad would the Cowboys be laughed out if we lose this game? You beat the Rams and then you lose against an Eagle team that don't even have half of their starters? Are you serious? Because pound for pound, when the Eagles are full force, when they have all their guys, they can match up with us. But right now, they're limping. If you can't beat a limping team and put them out your misery, you're not going to beat any of those teams in the playoffs. Because you look at the 49ers, you ain't going to beat them. You look at the Saints, you ain't going to beat them. You look at even the Vikings, the Saints. Those are some hard teams to get through. So you better make sure that you're on your P's and Q's and doing what you need to do. That's the main key. That's it. Because everything else, I think that I know that our offense can score on them because, again, their defense cannot handle what our receivers and things of that nature. I look to see Amari Cooper having a good game because he has a lot of good games against the Eagles. He's the Eagles' kryptonite. He's the Eagle killer. Just like Blake Jarwin is a Cowboy, I'm a Giants killer. Amari Cooper is an Eagles killer. So, but like I said, I got mad respect for their coaching staff and what Doug Peterson does over there. They're not going to lay down. That's another thing too. You also can't go in here thinking that, everything is sweet too, because you can't be laxed. If they play like how the Cowboys can play and to their potential, it shouldn't be no problem to win. But even with and still, if you start laxing off, Doug Peterson is going to take advantage of that. Sports is going to take advantage of that on their defense, and he's going to scheme you out of your game, and you don't want to do that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about this game and Cowboys potentially clinching the division and Dak Prescott's injury, things of that nature, so on and so forth. Eagle fans, if you're in there, shout out to you guys too, the Eagle fans. It's been a rough season for both of us this year, so I guess may the best man win today. So how about the Cowboys, y'all? Oh yeah, quick game predictions. I will say Cowboys 31, Eagles 14. You just got to get it done today. Thanks again, all my subscribers. Appreciate you guys. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Get your content from your boy. It's your boy E2 Blue. Always keeping it real. Talk to y'all soon. Game day.